Yeah, so I think one of the things that we're really noting that's really been happening over the last probably decade or more is something that we call acuity degradation. And what that means is because so many urgent care centers have sprung up over the years, we've required some extra help in staffing. So that is probably one of the biggest areas that we're seeing reimbursements under pressure in just not being able to do those procedures. And if they are doing some of the procedures, they may not be adding all of the sort of extra procedural supplies and associated procedures that would go along with those. Might be supplies, might be DME equipment. And, as the complexity of some of those things exists, so does the opportunity for missing certain fees associated with them. That sort of standard of care has to be equaled as much as possible, and the level of training really needs to come to a certain standard amongst all of your centers if you want to be consistently producing and delivering the same product. The providers are always going to feel some pressure to spend enough time taking good care of the patient. That's always job number one. And then they still have to get the documentation done right. And sometimes that's what suffers if you need to move on to the next patient and you haven't documented everything that you've done. And then you're going to miss key elements of the visit. You're not going to get reimbursed for that. You're going to miss charges because, again, you're in a hurry. You didn't remember to document something, and then it's not picked up to get charged out. So I think there's always that time pressure, and that's probably the biggest reason that documentation is lacking and missed, and then therefore maybe not reimbursed properly. I think if the information is timely, if they get it back in a short window from when the visit happened, that certainly is fresher in their mind, and they can more easily determine, oh yeah, I could have documented this better, or gee, I forgot to put down the sterile tray code for the laceration that I did, or whichever it may be. So I think if it's timely, if there is not just that they might have missed something or not done a certain level of service, but maybe if they're not expert in that area and they don't have a lot of experience in those certain areas, first of all, providing what was wrong and then what to do about it. And here is the supporting documentation, or here's some additional training that we can provide for you to get the appropriate results. So things that are outside of an EHR or a PM that can help in the RCM, that can help in your charges, again, kind of go back to what I said about having a certain level of acuity and completeness to your visits. So other types of technology that might be involved in decision support, in checking for a certain type of illness or condition or injury, that you've gone through all the correct steps and you've ordered all the right things that you really should be taking care of, that you're not missing anything clinically that should be addressed. And sometimes that will lead to a higher level decision-making process, so you can code higher for that. Sometimes it will lead to other procedures that you can do in the office.